Previously on Inspiration Point.
I can't sit here and pretend to have a normal conversation with you while you threaten my daughter.
Well, why'd you ask me back then?
I was hoping that you'd see how worried I am and end this madness.
It's not madness, Dr. Alexander. It's my work.
Be that as it may, if you will not tell me where Alexi is, then we have nothing more to discuss.
But Harriet is a free woman. Alexi isn't. It's apples and oranges.
You said you had something for me?
I think you've been good. You can have your present now. Here, take it.
Nemo, if there is another piece of Alexi inside of this box, so help me...
Just open it!
Nemo, is this Alexi's ear?
No.
My wife?
Excellent deduction, Doctor. So let's just trade Harriet for your wife, and then we can focus on Alexi next time we talk.
Mr. Aberline, how could this have happened?
We better just make the trade now, and we'll find another way to get this sleazeball.
Get it done, Mr. Aberline. Just get it done. Fred, again, I can't thank you enough for helping me get Irina back.
How's she doing?
A madman cut her off her ear, but she will survive.
So you're ready for this?
Yes, of course I am. This man has to be stopped.
Good. Irina was able to give us some useful information. I think we can find the person who did this to her.
I'd still like to know how he managed to get her in the first place.
We can't focus on that now. With any luck, your wife is being held at the same location as your daughter.
Let's hope so, for Alexi's sake.
When does the guy get here?
He should be here with Sergeant Connor any minute now. Come in.
Oh, hey, Doc, I didn't realize that you had another patient before me. I can wait in the hall with Sergeant Connor.
No, Nemo, this is a friend of mine, Mr. Jones. I've asked him here to see if he can help both of us come to some amicable agreement.
You're a shrink, too?
No, I'm more of an investigator.
Ah, so you're the guy who helped Raphael here find Harriet.
That's me.
Which means you helped get her back to me, too. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.
Don't mention it.
Gentlemen, please take a seat.
So, Doc, what do you and Mr. Jones want to talk about?
Well, I thought that we could start with where you are holding my daughter.
Oh, I'm not holding her anywhere.
Maybe not, but you've got help from someone on the outside who is.
Then that person is holding on to Dr. Alexander's daughter. At best, I'm an accomplice.
But you do know who it is and where they are.
I didn't say that either. Doc, did you bring me here to grill me or to help me get through my problems? Because I think that we both have better things to do, and Alexi probably can't afford to have you wasting time like this.
Just tell us where she is.
Don't worry, I will. And I won't even take her skin. All you have to do is ask me to set her free. Can you do that?
I do not wish for you to kill her.
Doc, we've been over this. It's not killing. It's opening a door.
You see what he does? I feel trapped, and all he does is rebut every line of questioning.
If you're feeling trapped, Dr. Alexander, I know someone who is an expert at helping people realize their freedom.
Let's try it this way. You tell us where the girl is being kept, and we'll see that you get a nice cell with a view for the rest of your life.
He doesn't want that.
You don't?
No, I want my own freedom.
Well, that's not going to happen. There's not a judge alive that'll set you free.
That is where you're
He
wrong.
doesn't mean that he wants to be a free man, Fred. He wants the death penalty. You know, his freedom.
Listening to you two on the phone was hard enough, but hearing you in person is enough to drive a man crazy.
The doc can help you with that problem. Well, at least he says he can. I think his plate is a bit full at the moment, though. But more on point, shame on you, Dr. Alexander, letting someone listen in on our private talks without my permission. That's probably going to be pretty expensive for you.
What do you mean?
Well, do you mind if I walk around a little?
As long as you stay on that side of the desk.
The way I see it, Doc, you've given me another bargaining chip.
How do you figure?
Couldn't you lose your ability to practice if someone found out that you were letting private investigators listen to patient conversations?
No, it's a common practice.
Even when the patient doesn't know about it, and the investigator in question isn't assigned to the patient's case, but is instead working for you?
We will deny it.
You would lie?
And I'll back him up.
So I guess it's just the word of a crazy person who allegedly killed some people against the corrupt psychiatrist and his lackey. Does that sound about right?
If anyone is corrupt in this room, Mr. Tumblety, it is you.
That is an interesting point of view. You know, Doc, this is a curious door. I've come through it so many times, and I never notice it, really. What is it, mahogany?
It's oak, but that doesn't really matter. We are talking about freeing my daughter. You have to let her go.
No. I suppose the wood doesn't really matter.
Listen, this'll all be a lot easier if you tell us where Alexei is before you get yourself in any more trouble.
You know, I think that maybe you're right.
He is?
I am?
Yep. You'll find the girl at 13 Lower Beaver Drive. It's a big house owned by a doctor.
Well, see, Doc, that wasn't so hard.
This has really been fun, hasn't it? But I guess we won't be having any more sessions, huh, Doc?
No, we most certainly will not. I'll see you hang for this.
I don't think that they hang people anymore, Doc, but I'm sure they'll find a proper way to thank me for my time.
Yeah, she's at 13 Lower Beaver Drive. There's a suspect there, too, so make sure you take plenty of guys with you. Okay, thanks. The officers are on their way.
Whatever happens next, Doc, I hope that someday you'll be able to look back on all of this fondly.
Don't hold your breath. February 24th. It's been several months since I last had Nemo Tumblety in my office, and the memory of his words still haunt me. I now know that those words were not his own, but I hope that we do not meet again. It has taken me some time to come to grips with what I now know to be true. Over these last few months during Sergeant Connor's trial, I learned that Nemo was a pawn in a game played by sick men. They killed my darling Alexei. Sergeant Connor and his accomplice, Roland Terrence, the real culprits, now await their fates. And while Nemo is innocent of the crimes, Come in.
Evening, Ref. I thought I'd stop by and see how you were doing since you ducked out of the courthouse pretty quickly this afternoon.
I've just been having a hard time with all of this, but I'm glad that Alexei's killers will be punished. Still, it's hard to believe that none of what Nemo said were his own words.
Yep, that guy was pretty spooky. Still, Roland and Connor confessed, and there was so much evidence at that bar. Inspiration Point, there were pictures, murder weapons, the whole thing. You helped catch a serial killer.
I wasn't fast enough, though. They still killed Alexei.
It's unfortunate, Raph, but we got the guys responsible and they won't hurt anyone else.
And there are still some things about Nemo that bother me.
Like what?
I know that Connor told Nemo what to say, but when they found Alexei, she hadn't been dead long. How did Nemo know that it was time to give us the address? There must have been some kind of signal.
The text message to order the guy to do it came from Connor's phone. Apparently he ordered Nemo to knock on the door to tell him to send it once you said that you wanted to free your daughter.
I didn't say that.
Well, you said that you wanted him to let her go.
That's not what I meant.
Was close enough for a crazy person like him.
And what about this text message? All it said was, "It's time for more cookies."
They must have worked out some sort of code before he came to your office.
I just can't shake the feeling that Nemo was involved in some way.
Well, according to the judge, he's innocent. He was controlled by Connor the whole time.
I know, and I'm working on accepting that it's the truth, but Nemo seemed so sincere.
He was a good actor. I still don't think the guy's quite right in his head. I mean, obviously they convinced him with some evidence the first time. There isn't anything you can do but move on. The cop confessed and fingered his accomplice. Nemo's been released and he's going to get quite a settlement for the wrongful imprisonment.
I suppose I should be glad that the right people are in prison and that the people responsible are going to be punished. It's just so hard to reconcile.
I understand, but you can't dwell on it. You have to live your life, otherwise you'll wind up doing exactly what Connor tells his victims.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I don't want to make a prison for myself and make Alexi's death meaningless. I have to go on for her.
So anyway, Mrs. Connor, that's what I think. You're a brave woman. You don't need someone like Peter in your life anymore.
You've been so kind to me, Mr. Tumblety. I'm so sorry that you spent time in that awful place for what my husband did. I'm glad that you invited me here. I hate to think that you blame our whole family for Peter's mistakes.
Yeah, I'm so sorry that he put you through all of this. You seem nice. I can't imagine why he'd do such a thing to you.
I never would have thought him capable of such terrible things. I just wish that I could muster up the courage to confront him about it.
Yeah, when I spoke to him, he insisted that you stay away, though. I'm sure he doesn't want you to remember him like this. All he was worried about was your safety. Hey, you know what? You've been listening to me blather for the better part of an hour now. Can I get you a drink?
Inspiration Point is a production of Strobe Studios, written by Michael Helgens and featuring the voices of Greg Kilberger, Michael Helgens, Steve Rampici, and Scott Stroessel, and the music of Kevin MacLeod.